Good evening, friends, and welcome to the 30th edition of the Bill Crane Report with Duane Weiss, my partner in crime right here with me.
Hardly seems to have, we've done 30 already, is it?
30 of them.
God.
Unbelievable. And maintaining a very high standard.
Oh,
too.
absolutely.
I gotta tell you.
Well, what are we planning? We started with maybe 5, 6 of these things?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really good. So, friends, it's the first day of fall, and cool and crisp out there.
Absolutely beautiful.
Have we put the hot weather behind us?
I think we have. Because usually you hit that change of air mass.
Yeah.
And what happens, I believe, I'm not a meteorologist, I think the jet stream changes.
Yeah.
And it starts shifting.
I hope it does, because I don't mind a little Indian summer.
I do too. I like
Man,
that.
let's not bring back the humidity and the heat.
Let's not bring back
That
that.
90-degree stuff was.
But polar vortex can stay away also.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Let's start off this morning with 3 things from the Boston Globe this morning.
Our favorite newspaper.
David Petraeus,
General David, retired.
General David, apologized to Congress yesterday for his misdeeds about telling his
girlfriend there.
mistress Pookie, whatever her name was, that, here's some classified information for you to look over. So he apologized for that. Other guys have gone to prison.
I was just going to say, the other people would have been in Leavenworth.
And for a 4-star general,
Yep.
he deserved more than,
Would he get a fine or something?
some stupid thing, $10,000
Yeah.
or something. So he apologized to Congress. And then he said, what happens in the Middle East won't stay in the Middle East.
I agree with him there.
You got to agree with him there, because
betcha.
these people don't know boundaries,
Nope.
and they are going to continue to go after the great Satan.
Well, there is no boundary because their objective ultimately is the entire world is Sharia law.
Exactly. So he said in his testimony to Congress, we should ramp up our response for Iraqi security forces and Sunni tribal, and he should ramp up our support
Yep.
for Iraqi security forces and Sunni tribal and Kurdish fighters. Now, what would you say about that?
Well, I hope they do a hell of a lot better job than they did with the Afghan fighters that they put out. Training.
Yeah.
We will get to that in a minute, I think.
Yeah, that is an incredible situation.
But I agree. Something has to be done.
Yeah,
You can't just let them run amok. But what?
What jumps out at me is, what the hell have we been doing over there?
Yeah, I know it. We've been there for God knows how many years.
And we're not supporting Iraqi security forces and Sunni tribal and Kurdish fighters?
Of course we are. We're pouring billions of dollars into
Yeah, but
equipment.
But apparently, what he's saying is we got to ramp it further on up. This is a no-brainer.
I don't know if that's a code word for boots on the ground or not.
Boy, I'll tell you. In Syria, we need to take a strong stance against the Syrian government forces dropping barrel bombs on their own people.
Yep.
Now, and we do this by threatening to stop the Syrian Air Force and just wipe them out. Oh, gee, that won't escalate things at all.
No.
And the Russians are over there playing.
They're putting their
footsie
planes
right
in, yeah.
now. They're putting planes in the air. We knock the Russian planes down?
It'll happen. Or they'll knock one of ours out.
Yeah.
It's inevitable. It's going to happen.
It's going to happen. You're absolutely
You get
right.
some jamoke there. He'll press the button when he shouldn't have pressed the button, and that's all it takes.
Why, in heaven's name, haven't we been doing this all along?
I don't know.
I mean, our record in Syria is a terrible, terrible thing.
First of all,
we have just done nothing.
We didn't know who to back.
That's it. Well, gee whiz. I mean, we've got the smartest woman in the world was the Secretary of State.
Apparently, she wasn't too good at intelligence gathering.
Oh. Oh, gee. And then the Massachusetts gift to the world became the Secretary of State.
That's right.
And he knew Assad personally.
Personal friend there. I think they were golfing buddies or something. I don't know.
Yeah, or something. Maybe they went biking together. What happened there?
I don't know.
I mean, to me, this is the bleeding obvious. Mm-hmm. And it takes David Petraeus to go to Congress to say, why aren't we doing this? Why and all of this? And the president, in between golf games and fundraisers,
That's right.
will talk with his wife and his advisor tonight from the 8 to 9 hour they have. And they'll probably laugh about Petraeus and say, what a bozo.
Yeah. Congress was getting an earful after General Austin.
Yeah.
You see that when they asked how many people that we got trained?
Yeah.
What they want, 20 or 30, 40,000? And they put in billions, if not millions, if not billions of dollars. He says 4, maybe 5. Not 1,000, 4, maybe 5
individuals. Fingers of one hand.
I said, what? 4, maybe 5? I mean, we could recruit that off the street in Norfolk.
Wasn't it like a class or a training center of like 1,800 guys, or was it 10,000?
It was 10,000 is what they would put in, yeah.
And 5?
4 or 5. He couldn't even say it was 5. He thought it was 4 or 5. That's all that's left.
Do you know, I don't know exactly when someone is going to say, we've got to impeach this president. I mean, this is just ridiculous.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's just, how long do you go on a program like that has completely failed?
How long do we leave people in place? Of course, the people in place are being reined in by the Obama administration. You can't do this, you can't do that, you won't do this, you won't do that.
It's a bottomless money pit.
Yeah. Oh, unbelievable. All right, I'm going to put you on the spot now.
Usually do.
I try. All right. We have quite a controversy in the United Kingdom. Is bridge a sport?
Yeah, I saw that this morning. No, go ahead. I have an answer for that too.
Sport England
Yep.
says no. But this is about the distribution of lottery funds to support to all types of sporting groups to support their efforts for a healthier life, etc., etc. Bridge officials argue it stimulates the brain, provides a wonderful leisure time activity for all ages, and makes for healthier, mentally keener people.
It probably does.
But it's all about this right here.
That's why they're discussing it.
Yeah.
But if you go by that definition, we got checkers, you got chess,
Exactly.
Monopoly, But, years and years ago, somebody asked Ernest Hemingway, what's sport? What is a sport? He said, well, there's only 3 sports. Auto racing, bullfighting, and mountain climbing. The rest are mere games.
I don't know.
Oh, that was Ernest Hemingway.
Yeah.
I don't agree with that. Say about that.
But I think it does make for healthier people.
Sure it does.
Certainly more mentally alert.
Oh,
which
absolutely.
is a challenging sport. A challenging game.
I never played it. I'm not much for card player.
I like bridge a lot.
If we're not betting on pairs and triple 3 of a kind and 4
Yeah,
of a kind,
right,
I don't know much about it. So
The poker end of things. But that keeps you mentally alert.
Yep.
So what do you think? Is it a sport or not?
No.
No.
It's a challenging game.
Yeah.
That I don't think it's a sport.
All right.
And that's just my opinion.
I know. You're the judge here. Well, the MBTA released their report yesterday. The
In
board.
worse shape than they thought.
Worse shape than
That
they
didn't surprise
thought.
me one bit.
Nope.
Not one bit.
The budget cost rise is unsustainable by the revenues.
Yep.
They need $7.3 billion to fully upgrade its infrastructure to good working order. Not great working order, good working order. To fully, they should have been spending $472 million annually on upgrades to vehicles and tracks. But since 2009, they've only spent an average of $389 million. The rest of it is in a maintenance fund. They haven't spent it.
Well, they've got this one rule. For the life of me, I can't remember what it was called, but you can't farm it out. If the union can do it in
the Pacheco law.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Can do it in the house.
Yeah.
Now, in-house usually costs about 3 times what the outside vendor would do it for.
And the union just, they work at a snail's pace.
Yeah.
So you can't hold anything over their heads and say, work harder, fools, you know.
No. Plus, they got a big absentee problem.
They do?
They've got a big workman comp problem and a big retirement fund problem.
Yep.
So they're handicapped wherever you go, and it's their own making. That's the problem.
Exactly. And why is that, Duane, do you think?
I got a good idea why.
Politicians in charge?
And patriotism.
Yeah.
Patronage jobs. There's so many jobs in that's not the only one. There are a bunch of we have here. They're just loaded with political appointees.
Exactly. And this was the place you went when your brother-in-law lost his job. So you called over there and said, Eddie's out of work.
Hey, Representative,
send him
what can you do
over.
for me?
That's
well, go see Joe down MBTA. And then he'd make a telephone call, and boy, he had a job.
Yep.
We had one across the street in the town we lived in before. He was on disability, and I watched him put a new roof on, carry bundles of shingles. They got to weigh about 70 pounds.
They absolutely put him on his shoulder and walk him right up
climb the ladder. He had no problem at all doing that kind of stuff, but he hadn't worked in 3 or 4 years. He'd been drawing workman comps from the MBTA.
So I guess my question to you here is, are you surprised by this story?
No, not at all.
Not the least.
I used to deal with them on selling tools and tooling to them, and they were messed up already then.
It's like picking up the carpet and watching the cockroaches scurry away. I'll tell you, they've got a hell of a job on their hands to straighten this outfit out. But
I know it's not possible or practical. That's one of those things. You wish you could just go in and just everybody out.
Clean house, we're starting over again.
Starting over, yep.
Yeah, but then there are the guys that know all this equipment and all, and you can't let that knowledge walk away. But somehow or other, you've got to get a day's work out of these people. And you've got to
And when you start looking for managers, look nationwide.
Yeah.
Don't just promote somebody because he's the brother-in-law.
No, we can hire Eddie. He managed a Little League baseball team. Oh, yeah, well, bring him in as a manager. He's got experience.
We saw what happened this past winter.
Yeah.
It failed. The whole system broke down.
Well, I'll tell you what, if they can reform this MBTA and get it into some form of working order, I'll tell you, then Charlie Baker's ready to run for president.
You bet, because it's got generations of neglect there.
I've got a few things here to bring up. In no particular order, and then I'm going to get to some outrages.
Okay. I actually got a couple of good things here.
Good. John Farrell, manager of the Red Sox, diagnosed with cancer.
Yep.
You know, here's a big, healthy, strong guy. 53 years old, diagnosed with lymphoma. Yep. It shows how fragile life is.
Oh.
And we need to somehow or other enjoy and treasure every moment.
Every day.
Yeah. It's
because tomorrow is guaranteed to no one.
Yeah. That's exactly right.
Now, we've been talking about traveling since both of us retired. We said, oh, maybe next year, maybe next year. I said, no, we got to do it now.
Yeah.
Because we don't know what's coming next year.
Well, that's exactly right. You don't know what's coming next minute.
Yeah. My brother died of cancer he was diagnosed with melanoma when he graduated from college.
Oh, wow.
He was a 6'5",
Sure.
big strapping guy.
Yep.
10 years later, he was dead. So.
Yeah. Melanoma chops you down to size.
Oh, boy, yeah.
Well, that's... Anyway, thoughts are with John Farrell and his family.
Yep.
Well, every once in a while I get thinking about the old days and being on the road and my favorite restaurants.
Oh, me too.
One of the things that I had totally forgotten about was Cincinnati, Ohio.
Yep.
And why I liked going there. Skyline Chili.
I don't know.
Have you ever had Cincinnati chili?
I think so, but I haven't Skyline.
It's just nothing like
Yeah.
anything else. It's a bed of spaghetti,
Yep.
plain spaghetti. Then they put this very watery meat sauce
Yep,
on.
over the top of it, and it kind of soaks around
Yep.
on the spaghetti.
And then they put this great big mound of shredded cheddar
Yep.
cheese. Then a handful of chopped onions,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
and that is your basic four-way chili. Mm-hmm. I can tell you something. That is the greatest stuff in the world. I loved going to Skyline Chili. First of all, it's like $6. And second of all, you had to really sit down and work to finish that.
Yeah, very few people could dig through that thing.
It was, and it was really tasty. Somehow or other, they made that meat sauce kind of sweet. Boy, that was really good stuff.
That's their secret.
Yep. And there was a couple of other competitors for Skyline, but and I tried one of them once, and it was good. It wasn't quite Skyline, but it was good. But that's unique to Cincinnati. You won't find that anyplace
I
else.
suspect that sweetness is coming from?
Sugar?
Chocolate.
Yes, exactly
They're now
right.
starting around here to put chocolate in their chili, and there's water in their
Yep.
chilies. I think they knew about that a long time ago.
Yeah, and I looked at a website about this, and chocolate was one of the ingredients in Skyline chili.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Also in Cincinnati is the Montgomery
You're
Inn.
talking to a fat guy about foods.
Yeah, I know. The Montgomery Inn. I'll tell you, if the good Lord said, Willie, I'll fly you any place you want to go for your last meal, but it's going to be your last meal. Boy, the Montgomery Inn would be right near the top of the list, I'll tell you. You go in, the big slab, side of French fries. It is unbelievable. The meat falls off the bone,
Oh, really?
like they used to say in that ad. What a terrific place. And business, they got 3 of them now in Cincinnati, starting from the original.
One of my favorite was in Toronto. It's a small chain called Beef and Keg. Mm-hmm. And they have a baseball steak. Mm-hmm. It's more like a softball steak. Mm-hmm. It's cut round, just like a ball.
Oh, really?
It serves like a ball.
Yeah.
And you can't get it well done because they can't cook it well done.
Yeah.
They kind of hard to cook it medium, but I like my rare.
Yeah.
That was a kind of you could just take your knife and just slice right through it. Oh, that was good.
There's a place down in Florida, in Tampa, Sam Schulman's Steakhouse.
Okay.
And it's diagonally across from the football stadium
Okay.
in Tampa. And they serve up a ribeye, sort of round-shaped ribeye. And it's the best ribeye I've ever had.
All these places got some specialty that they just.
It's raw, man.
Well, I gained 3 pounds talking about this. So.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, be a toss-up between going to New Orleans or going to Cincinnati for my last meal. last Sunday at St. Jude's, the gospel reading was from the book of St. James, verse 3:16. I'm just going to read you a sentence. For where there is envy and selfish ambition, there will also be disorder and wickedness of every kind. Does that describe Washington to a T?
Absolutely.
Where there is envy and selfish ambition, there will also be disorder and wickedness of every kind.
You can. Yep.
I'll tell you, if that doesn't sum up our Congress and all the lobbyists down there.
Both sides fighting with each other
Yep.
constantly.
Here's another one of my little complaints.
All right.
People who are habitually, fashionably late are a miserable lot of ignorant rabble.
Bothers me too.
Drives
I'm
me
early.
nuts.
I'm an early person.
You know, if I had an appointment at 2:30 to call on the customer, I'd be there at 2:15.
Oh, absolutely. No
Yeah.
later than 2:50.
And I would chat with the receptionist, and so my next visit would be a lot easier to book.
Some people are always late.
Yeah.
We had some friends.
Yeah.
If we were going to have dinner at 6, invited for dinner, I'd tell them dinner was at 5.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
they'd come about 5:45.
Perfect.
You know, you always had to tell them an hour
Yeah.
early.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. What possesses people to do? Is it they want to be the
I don't know.
stick that stirs a drink, or
Some people subscribe to this being fashionably late. They think they can make
Yeah.
like a social function.
Yeah.
They want to make an entrance, and some people just can't get going.
it's like the Emmys and all
Yeah.
these whatever plastic people arriving down the red carpet and all the flash bulbs go. Who the hell cares?
Yeah, that's right. Who cares?
I mean, where have all the gardens gone? I know you have a garden.
Yeah, so
But
I have,
you know
I have a
what?
bucket garden.
You're a rare breed, though. The gardens have mostly disappeared.
Some people have tops.
But every single, no, I won't say every house, but most houses, when I was a kid, you had a garden in the backyard.
You did. Almost everybody did. Now, I'd love to be in a position where I could. First of all, I don't have much for light. Only up in the late afternoon next to the house do I have light. I tried putting garden in there, and you put the shovel in the ground, and all you hear is clunk,
Yeah,
clunk,
yeah,
rock after rock after rock.
yeah.
So then I said, well, I read someplace about using buckets. So I went down to Home Depot and bought a bunch of Homer buckets, 5-gallon orange buckets, and it's simple. You drill some holes in the bottom. I bought a big bag of that marble chips, put the marble chips in the bottom, and bought potting soil. And it works great.
Yeah,
The only thing, they take a lot of water because the water seeps right
sure
through
it does, yeah.
But as long as you're around to water them every other day or so, or every day when it's hot,
Yep.
they work great for things like tomatoes and peppers.
Yeah.
And it's not practical for ground,
No,
for
no.
carrots and
but,
peppers
but
now.
by the same token, you can certainly lay in a bunch of tomatoes. And,
Oh, yeah. God, we're getting hit with them now.
Yeah. You know, and it got me to thinking when I thought about this. I think the greatest way to raise kids is on a farm.
Yeah.
And they learn about animals. They learn about, they die. They learn about life. And that balance between life and death. And it seems to me that the kids that are raised on farms got a lot solider upbringing.
Different outlook, too.
Yeah, different outlook. Right, right. They realize that Pookie the dog or the cat is going to die.
Yeah.
And they don't have, 7-day mourning service over it. They realize what are animals and what are humans.
Yeah, exactly.
They realize that, if you work the land and you work hard, there's all kinds of rewards.
Yep.
An immigrant from Germany, a brilliant guy, friend of mine, very interesting man, said to me one day, he came over here and became a millionaire. And he said, you know what, Bill? People say to me, you know what, Hans, you're a lucky duck. And he would say to me, Bill, he said, I have never even won a little league drawing for $25 in my life. Mm-hmm. Never. But you know, he said, it's a funny thing. The harder I work, the luckier I get.
Mm. One of my companies had that on their mail that would send out to the sales force.
Yeah. Hans is, someday we'll have I'll tell Hans stories.
Okay, good.
Quite a guy. Now, third indecent assault is reported in South Boston. A man came up behind a woman in South Boston early Wednesday and inappropriately touched her. According to police, who have been investigating two similar incidents in the neighborhood since July. So they're out at night and they're advising residents to be alert and careful while walking at night. This guy comes up and grabs their buttocks. This is quite a reign of terror.
It certainly is.
And yet, do I look terrorized? No. But every time I go to a shopping mall, women are coming up, grabbing my buttocks. I don't run to the police and complain about it.
Because we're sex symbols, Bill.
That's it.
We've just got to live with it, I guess.
I'm telling you, it certainly doesn't send me off running scared. Gee whiz.
I can see they don't want to be touched if you don't want to, but it's not the crime of the century either.
No, it's not. There's a lot more serious crimes going on.
Well,
and
Bill, did you see this morning at the Syracuse, at the football games, can no longer have the kiss camera? You know, they have this thing where they zero in on a couple in the audience, and they're supposed to kiss?
Yeah.
No more.
Invasion of privacy?
It forces the woman to show affection publicly, and it's almost a form of rape, because she's afraid not to because the camera's on her.
Oh, boy.
Talk about Looney Tune.
Oh, boy.
It wasn't exactly the football team that was behind that band, you know. It was some...
You've got to be kidding me.
No.
All right. We've gone over the edge. That's
it.
We've destroyed civilization as we know it.
It's morning on the
It's
news.
gone.
The 6 o'clock news.
Augusta, Maine.
Yep.
21 men charged in a prostitution sting. 21 men are facing misdemeanor charges of engaging a prostitute after an investigation at 3 central Maine hotels, authorities said. These guys are responded to online ads. Okay. Is there no crime more serious than this that they can't spend time investigating? How about the drug scourge and people that are dying from heroin overdoses? Why aren't they after the dealers? Why isn't there stings about that? How about drunken driving?
Oh, absolutely, Bill.
I mean, because a couple of hookers are making some money. Well, actually, it's more than that. And they bring in hookers and all of that.
That series called Jail or Cops?
I watch Cops.
Langley, they made those for years. They just get some from Las Vegas. The city of Las Vegas, it's illegal. Across the street's the county line. It's legal on the other side of the street. What? And this side of the street, where it's illegal, they got these big sting teams, and they got 8-10 cops and sit-ups and rooms and mics, but the guy across the street can just say, "Hey guys."
And we have all kinds of crime going on. Most of them are drug related.
Oh yeah.
We have people being murdered over drugs.
Yeah, and then set up these prostitution stings.
Yeah,
It's
and
nuts.
we're wasting manpower
Yeah.
on this. Now, some of these, if there's a couple of pimps and they're bringing in women and
Yep.
they're subjugating them,
Sex slavery and
forcing
stuff
them
like that,
into
yeah.
it,
That's a
great.
different
And
story.
those guys should be put in prison for 40 years.
Yeah, exactly.
But if these are just hookers that, go out a couple of nights a week and make a few bucks,
Yep.
all right, it's not the greatest thing in the world, but it sure as hell isn't the most harmful thing in the world. I don't see how we justify spending time and money chasing hookers when there's all the other things that are going on.
And you can equate a lot of things to prostitution, especially if it was prostitution without money.
Yeah.
Some young lady wants she does a favor for him and she gets a new coat or a car or a
Yep.
trip to someplace.
A friend of mine runs a business, and very frankly, he has told me that he gets paid in trade from time to time.
That's right.
Who's being hurt? I mean, who the heck is being hurt by a transaction like that?
It's been going on. It's time immemorial. It's been on since mankind's been around. It's an
Oldest
oldest profession in the world, isn't it?
Target,
Yeah. Okay.
one of my favorite stores,
Yeah.
will end girls and boys
Oh,
sections
that is crazy.
in toys and other aisles. So does this mean that when we go in there now and I'm looking for a shirt, I got to go down and go through the bra and panty aisle?
I
and,
guess.
Oh, well, here's the men's shirts.
Yeah,
Yeah,
here's
they're
one,
in
yeah.
with blouses. And what is the end game here?
I got two young grandsons. They got to go to Target, go up and down. They wouldn't walk down that girl's aisle on a bet.
Else they were shot. Good Lord. Well, some woman said something about, the boys may be ashamed to pick out dolls, but if they're in the same aisle with boys' toys, they won't be as ashamed to pick out a doll to bring home to play with.
It was a mistake. I did it on purpose just to rattle them. Action figures. The little...
Yeah, and you buy those Wonder Woman ones.
No.
No?
I ever play one. I said, "Oh, you got nice little dollies there." They looked at me like they wanted to kill me. Those are not dollies. They're action figures.
I always ask my 7-year-old grandson, so what do you get for action figures? Oh, I got Ray Gun Ray,
Yeah, I
and
know. I don't even know what they are.
all got names and everything. I said, I got to get you some girly action figures. Grampy, that's
Yeah.
not funny.
I was threatening to get them Barbie dolls for Christmas. That
Yeah.
was another one. We'll throw them out. They said, we'll throw them out.
That's right. An amazing thing happened the last 3 weekends. I've been kind of afar during the day.
We've had
And-
company for the past 3 months.
And I found out that over in Medfield, I saw something astounding.
That's it.
The police directed traffic at the church after Mass was over.
Okay.
In Franklin, the police direct traffic at the church.
I've seen them
When
at
Mass is
Rentham
over.
too, right around there. But St.
And
Mary's there. By there.
Walpole always has. Are we that lumbered down by crime here in Norfolk that we can't possibly help the churchgoers exit?
Yeah, Foxborough does too down there by
Yeah,
where the
they
charter
all,
school is.
Look, all civilized towns do.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't we do that?
It only takes them 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure our town fathers are a very, very sharp lot, and they are really on top of things. I'm sure now that we've brought this up, they're going to be all over this
Absolutely.
like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah.
Dad of girl in fatal crash gets 16 years in prison. In Honesdale, Pennsylvania, a man allowed his unlicensed 15-year-old
Yeah.
daughter
Oh, God, yeah.
to drive an SUV, got in an accident, killing 3 of her friends. He was sentenced to 16 years in prison by a judge who called his behavior reckless, stupid, and selfish.
Mm-hmm.
He did say at his trial, "I cannot begin to say how sorry I am. Neither I nor my daughter meant any harm to anyone that day." You know, and we read here in Massachusetts where a woman or a man gives teenagers alcohol at house parties.
House party, yep.
And they go out, smash a car, and the boy and his companion are killed.
Mm-hmm.
And the woman gets 6 months probation.
Yep, exactly.
And or gets 6 months home confinement and 5 years probation. But she can go out of the house because she does have other children.
A lot depends who they are, too.
Yeah. I think Pennsylvania, the state of Pennsylvania, got this one right.
Yep, I do too.
He'll be 70 before he gets out.
Mm.
Assuming he doesn't get out on good behavior or something.
He probably will
that.
do a reduced sentence in that way.
But that would not be right. It seems to me
Yep.
that 16 years is plenty. It's a good sentence, and I don't want to see it any less than that.
No. You know, Bill, we usually don't do obituaries, but here's one I think
Let's have it.
we have to talk about. Jack Larson died. You recognize the name?
No.
Probably not. How about Jimmy Olsen?
Oh, yeah, Jimmy Olsen.
Jimmy Olsen, Jack
Yeah.
Larson. He was 87 years old.
Wow.
And boy, did that bring back memories.
Yeah.
1952 to 58, he was, and they warned him about, don't take this role because you're going to get
Going to be
typecast.
typecast, yeah.
And he ignored it. And he was typecast. But he went on to do some very good things.
Yeah.
But I remember that, I was a little young then. I was in the 3rd grade, 8th grade at that point, you know. I remember right after school, get home, get home quick because Superman was on. Jimmy was always getting everybody in trouble. But the older teenage girls were always, oh my God, Jimmy Olsen. They thought he was so cute. Well, girls, you didn't miss anything. He was gay.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up.
It's because he lived with his last partner for 35 years before he
wow.
died. So.
Yeah. And the girls were swooning.
Oh yeah, in those days they didn't know.
Yeah. How about that? Well, you know, speaking of obituaries, we lost a real American hero overnight, Yogi Berra.
Yogi Berra, yeah, he died.
Yeah. You know, Yogi Berra was
90 years old.
Yep. He's among the last remaining living ex-ball players that served in World War II.
That's right. He was a machine gunner or something.
He was a gunnery assistant.
Yeah, he's the guy to hold put the belts in, carry the ammo.
And he participated, the battleship he was on, cruiser he was on, whatever it was, he participated in D-Day.
Yep, he did. He was on Omaha Beach.
Yep. And, you know, I couldn't remember what he did, so I looked it up on the internet. And he served in the Navy on board that ship. And I said, no, wait a minute now. There was one of the Yankees. And so I punched up Hank Bauer, the right fielder.
Yeah.
He joined right after Pearl Harbor.
Mm-hmm.
And he joined the Marines. He was in the Marines' 4th Division. And he participated 32 months of combat.
Didn't Ted Williams, wasn't he a pilot or something?
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll talk about Ted in a second. But Hank Bauer, 32 months.
Yeah.
And he was in Guadalcanal and ended up in Okinawa.
Yeah.
32 months.
That's a lot of combat.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And the kids today, I'm not going in the service. You're not going to make me go in the service.
No.
Yeah, but you could go to school for free afterwards. You get out on the GI Bill. No, my father will pay for it.
Oh, I went to college.
Yeah. Me too. Ted Williams
No, he was.
ran an ad for the Baseball Hall of Fame. And he said, the two things in my life I am most proudest of.
Yep.
Number one, I was a Marine Corps pilot.
Yep.
Number two, being elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame. Tell me something. He had his priorities right, didn't he?
Yep.
He was he went in World War II. Didn't see any combat, but he was an instructor in different bases, teaching guys how to fly. But when he was called up for Korea, he was in combat. He flew combat missions and crash landed.
That's right.
One of them. So those were great guys. They not abandoned, but they set aside their career. Ted Williams batted .406 in 1941. He went in the service 42, 43, 44, and 45. He got out in 46.
Yep. And you can contrast him with these other characters. Muhammad Ali refused to go in.
Yeah.
Just a flat refused. Again, and guys on the other side again, Elvis Presley. He got drafted. He went. He didn't ask for any kind of.
No, he was in the
truck driver.
He was in the Armored Division.
Right.
I think it was the second or third Armored Division. They were stationed in Germany.
Yeah.
And I talked to some of the guys in the outfit that they came in, and I said, "No, were you guys the one Elvis?" Yeah, I know him.
Yep.
He said he was the greatest guy in the world. He says everybody in the outfit loved him.
There's so few of them, and so many of the others.
He said no matter what we did, he would be right there volunteering.
What's your opinion of the VW scandal?
Well, you know what? I hope that the people that made that decision at Volkswagen really get their comeuppance, and I think they're going to. That was really dirty pool.
When that broke, I said, nah, it can't be, and VW is going to deny this, and they're going to pull a Fiat Chrysler move, and they're just going to stall stuff. Yeah, we did it.
Last year, they topped Toyota as the #1 selling vehicles in the world.
Just in case, we might explain.
Good idea. Okay. Volkswagen engineers rigged up their diesel engine cars. And what happened would be, with computer algorithms, whatever the hell they are, sensed that the car was being tested.
Pollution testing, like we do once a year.
Then they would turn on all the pollution control devices, and the engine would not perform as well, but it would not,
because it was just idling. Nobody knows it was in the shop getting the testing.
Yeah, but it would not emit the amount of fumes, pollution, whatever.
The more pollution controls you got, the less performance you got.
That's exactly right, and the poorer the mileage.
That's right.
Okay, so when you took your Volkswagen out on the road and just drove it, the algorithms recognized that, and they shut all the stuff down.
40 times it was putting out pollutants, 40 times our limit.
The cars ran better, they got better mileage.
Great acceleration.
Yeah, the whole 9 yards.
Of course, they didn't have any pollution controls on it at that point.
That's exactly right. So they were not playing with the same rules everybody else was. Be interesting to see now. They're going to roll up their sleeves and go after everybody else and check out everybody else's vehicles and see if anybody else has figured this out.
But Europe's going after them now, I see.
Leave it to the Germans to figure something like that out.
As bad as it is, it's pretty ingenious.
It is. It is pure genius.
Yep.
But they are going to pay a fine.
Billions and billions of dollars.
You know what? I'd like to see the Attorney General. Of course, the Attorney General of the U.S. is just another political phony. But Wouldn't you like to see her say, Volkswagen, anybody that owns one and wants to get their purchase price back, bring it to the Volkswagen dealer, and he'll write you out a check for
That's
it.
one of the proposals already.
That should happen.
Got to buy them back.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And never mind depreciation either. Make this fine stick. Oh, unbelievable. Speaking of jail terms.
Yep, good. Not for me, though.
Graham Harris had a few beers with some friends, and at the University of Mississippi, they placed a noose on a statue of a civil rights activist. A judge has sentenced them to...
I don't know the sentence.
All right, now, suppose then he pleaded guilty to a misdemeanor charge of using a threat of force to intimidate African-American students and employees, and prosecutors agreed to drop a felony charge. Okay. Stood before the judge, and the judge said, what would you say, Judge, for this activity?
6 months.
Exactly right. Got 6 months in jail.
Yep.
You know, kids do stupid things.
Oh, positively.
But you can't let this off with, don't do this again, Graham. I think it's a totally appropriate sentence.
But he could, if he went to prison in Vermont prisoners to get email and video service.
Glorioski.
Yeah. Well, they can sit and play with their computers all day in their cell.
I'm of two minds about that. If they took college courses,
that's different.
That's different. If they studied something, I'm going to study archaeology, or I'm going to study God only knows what.
But if you're emailing your gangbangers about what drug deal to buy or where to...
Exactly, or where I stashed some drugs.
Exactly.
You can find some under the board in the house at Green Street or something. I don't know. I guess I'm of two minds on that one. You know, I know that they can put controls on computers, PCs, and all that won't let them get to certain websites and all of that. But I think where there's a will, there's a way, and I'm sure they could code their messages to their friends or something. But if it helps rehabilitate them, I'm all for it.
Yep.
If not, if it's abused, take it away from them.
Same reason they don't allow, most places never allow them to have cell phones. Because they use it to continue the criminal activity.
Their business, Speaking of criminal activity, let me ask you if you think this is criminal. From the Sunday Globe. August 30th, 2015. Look at this. Look at the headline. Late TV listings. State of the Union. Topic, 2016 politics.
Yep.
CNN. 9 a.m. and noontime. Inside politics. Blah, blah, blah. CNN, 8:30 a.m. Fareed Zakaria GPS. Topics, President Obama's foreign policy. 10 and 1 p.m. CNN. Reliable sources. Blah, blah, blah. CNN, 11 a.m. So, the late TV listings.
Seems to be something missing there.
Yeah. Was there anything on Fox?
Well, Fox must be off the air, I guess.
Must be. So there was nothing on any other channels other than CNN.
It's the Globe.
Honest to Pete, I don't believe it. I like this one though, and I'm sure you got this in your bag of tricks too. bill would limit mass
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
immigration enforcement.
Sanctuary cities.
Yep. Prohibit local police from letting U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents use their facilities for investigative interviews or transporting inmates subject to an immigration detention request into ICE custody. Prevent an individual from being denied bail based solely on the basis of the detention request. Bar law enforcement agencies from notifying ICE about an inmate's release. Block Massachusetts law enforcement from providing or allowing ICE officials access to booking lists or information regarding inmates' incarceration status. Well, thankfully, this is just something that is proposed, but this is criminal.
You're treating one of our law enforcement agencies
As
or
the
agencies
enemy.
as the enemy. That's
Yeah.
right. As they're the bad guys. I know it's mind-boggling.
Just
Where are we going to go with this?
doesn't make sense.
Where are we going to go with
Yeah,
this?
I don't know. I don't know. But hopefully this isn't going to see the light of day, and I'm sure
Yep.
Charlie Baker would veto this, and cooler heads will prevail. But immigration activists are pressing state lawmakers to pass legislation to do this. So this is a puff piece
Yep.
that the Globe's friends have managed to get published as though there's some groundswell of this. This is
As if everybody in the state
Yeah.
supports that.
there's 12 lunatics
Yep.
that probably support it. What do you got?
Well, on the good news side, it looks like they developed a vaccine for the chicken flu.
Really?
H5N2.
Okay.
It's based on the porcine that was killing the pigs and just about
Yeah.
wiped that out. That vaccine was extremely effective. The swine herds are back, and they think this is going to be the same thing for the chickens.
Wow, that's good news.
My question is, eggs have jumped up over $3 a dozen.
Yeah, they'll-
Let's say they get them back. Poultry is a quick recovery.
Yeah.
6 weeks, you got
yeah.
a thing to, she's laying eggs already.
Sure.
You're going
Yeah.
in the supermarket. Do you think that eggs are going to come down?
I think so. And,
Yeah, I think they'll come down some, but they will never go back to
because
what
of
they
the American system of doing business and open competition and all that, free enterprise.
Right now, we're bringing a lot of eggs from the Netherlands.
Yeah, the Netherlands, right?
Yeah.
Because they have health standards the same as ours.
Most of those eggs are going into. We don't. The amount of eggs that you buy in the supermarket, and you have fried eggs and scrambled eggs.
Yeah.
That's only a minuscule amount of the eggs.
is.
Most of the eggs go into commercial foods and stuff. These commercial companies.
Absolutely, food preparation,
Yeah.
box cake mixes
Exactly.
and stuff like that. Sure. 2.3 million people apply for 368 jobs in India.
I saw that. You wouldn't want to be the end in line.
It will take 4 years to
interview?
conduct a written exam to screen
that's
the
right, yeah.
applicants because wait a minute. I'm sorry. Interviewing them would take 4 years.
Can you imagine going there and see the line? It would be.
From here to California.
It would be so far.
Well, we're running out of time, but I've got one that I've got to bring to the head of the list here.
Okay.
Medford detective who made threats on video faces hearing. Stopped a car that went the wrong way through a rotary.
Yep, I remember that story.
I'll put a hole right through your
Yep.
blanking head.
Yep.
I'll put a hole right through your blanking head. Pull your car over. I'll put a hole right through your head. And he wasn't in uniform. And then he said, I'm not only a cop, I'm a blanking Medford detective. You went through that blanking rotary.
Today,
Stephen Lebert. He's on paid leave now. But Harold McGilvray, the president of the Medford Police Patrolmen's Association. We support Detective Lebert 100%. He's a good police officer. Is he delusional or what?
That should be a red flag.
The lawyer. It seems like this incident has been grossly blown out of proportion. Yes, he was unprofessional, but I don't think that's anything that warrants termination. His drop down to the end. The chief says, did not condone Labert's behavior. I can't justify it. He said people have previously complained about Labert for being rude, discourteous, and bullying. But in an earlier interview, Sacco described Labert, who has prior disciplinary infractions on his record, as an effective officer. The chief could not be reached for any further comments.
That's a surprise.
Now, this is not a rookie police officer.
Oh, no. He's been around there for a while.
And I'm not sure, and I don't want to say, but there is some place, one of these stories listed his age and the amount of time he'd been on the force. Mm-hmm. He's been on a considerable amount of time. This is unbelievable behavior. But you know what I am happy about? This would have been hushed up years ago.
Oh.
Never seen the light of day, and that person would have been intimidated by the police to withdraw any complaints he had about this guy. We're finally getting to the point now where we're willing to discuss what goes on, and the blue wall of silence
can no longer exist.
And we're all going to win by this. 1 minute. Well, this one from Attleboro. We have a school consultant was sitting in the parking lot drinking, and the police arrested him. And he was on his way to sign his new contract with the school department. So Christopher Cullinan, 39, gets the award as being the idiot of the week.
Stupidity of the year.
Unbelievable.
Couldn't wait till you get home.
Unbelievable. Well, my friends, it is my sad duty to say to you these words. Our show is coming to an end. We've enjoyed being with you for this hour. Thank you for welcoming us into your home.
And if we could sing, we'd sing Happy Trails to you like Roy Rogers.
That's exactly right. And if you ever decide to have prime rib or something like that at night and want us to invite you into your home, we'll be more than welcome. We're willing to come.
Feel free.
Yep, to invite us.
That's right.
So anyway, happy trails to all of you.
Yep.
Good night. Thank you again.
Enjoy the fall.